Okay, so welcome everybody to our 10th Sisterhood of Health. These sessions are just so fun, and I really enjoy curating the list of speakers. Hi, Deanna. There you are. Yeah. Perfect. You're muted. I'm unmuting. There we go. You're good? Okay. Uh-oh, I can't hear you. We'll figure that out. I'm going to keep going. Okay, so this is our 10th Sisterhood, and this one is focused on brain health, so memory and mental clarity. And I love this quote actually from Albert Einstein: "Do not grow old, no matter how long you live. Never cease to stand like curious children before the great mystery into which we were born." So it gives me shivers to read that to you right now, because there's a lot of power in that statement. And many of you know my cute little 92-year-old grandmother. She's alive and well, and just such a joy, a Mighty Mouse, we call her. She's quite short. So my grandfather was very tall, and her nickname was Mighty Mouse. But her biggest advice for life is to always do something that reminds you of being a kid every day. And so she lives by that principle, and it served her well. Okay, there we go. All right, so the 10th Sisterhood of Health is higher brain health. And in each session, we focus on our pillars of higher health, which are mindset, movement, and micronutrients. So for our mindset component today, we have Janice Vanderwood, human potential coach, holistic nutritionist, and just a wealth of personal and professional experience. She really walks the walk, and one conversation with Janice, you'll really get a sense of her expertise. And I highly recommend a personal conversation, not just the group format. Movement, we have Deanna Miconi, and Deanna has a hat trick of skills. Aside from being just a beautiful and kind person, she is a medical Qi Gong practitioner, a Pilates practitioner, and a canine therapist. Canine practitioner, sorry, I flubbed that a little bit, but medical Qi Gong, Pilates, and canine. And it's saying my internet is unstable. Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me? Uh-oh, am I pausing? Can you hear me, Janice?
I can hear you now, but okay. You're flubbing out a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Did it come through for all the practitioners?
I heard.
You did? Okay. Yeah. Okay, so mindset, movement, micronutrients. So mindset, we have Janice Vanderwood. Movement, Deanna Miconi, and micronutrients is me. And every session, we also pick 3 guiding words. So when in individual consults, I ask people what their vision of higher health is, and I like to distill it down to 3 guiding words. So, you know, it can be in the moment. What do you want to feel today? What do you want to feel this week or this month or overall? And so today we'll pick 3 guiding words for just this session, and then maybe that will permeate your day or whatever you like. And you can pick your own words. So when I was driving into work today, I picked 3 words: calm, clear, and focused. So you just write them down on a piece of paper. When you're on the phone with someone, just jot them down on a scrap piece of paper, your own 3 words. And how I came up with this is, one day I was driving to work. I was really feeling overwhelmed and stressed. And I said, Tara, pull in, it's called Love, Thrive, Grow. So pull in Love, Thrive, Grow for yourself, and pick 3 words. And for me in that moment, it was loving, kind, and calm. And that was really how I wanted to feel. And I was feeling anxious, stressed, worried. And as soon as I said loving, kind, and calm, I felt my whole energy just come back into its center. And so just a little bit of background for why I think choosing guiding words is important. So today we are calm, clear, and focused. What is higher brain health? So in client visits, maybe you can resonate with this and think about what is best brain health. And these are some of the things that come up in visits with clients. So mental clarity. Actually, I should backtrack a bit. Most people say they want to be fit and toned and to lose weight. So fit mind at first. And so mental clarity, good memory, feeling sharp, on my game and with it, focused and clear-minded, happy, vibrant, and having a positive mindset. good sleep, waking refreshed, having mental stamina, and a whole body and brain energy. So I think these words are much more, should be more of the focus than a fit body, though fit is important as well. So just remember, fit brain, fit body. Prevention and treatment for, so as part of Higher Health, I think everybody wants to prevent and support the following. So Alzheimer's disease, probably the most feared condition, and really because you're most out of control, which Janice could probably delve into a little bit further on what I just said there. The feeling of control, definitely a mindset topic. Anxiety, depression, Parkinson's, ADHD, autism, and concussions. So I would say these are the things I treat most when it comes to actual conditions of the brain. And then we also want to consider sleep health, mood, and peak mental performance. So a lot of people coming in to see us are really looking for that extra edge, which I think is awesome and so important, and not what your conventional medical doctor will do. So you need both of us, or all three of us, or all four of us here. And you need a team. And so with everything going on right now in the environment, your mental health is under additional stress, and your brain needs extra fuel, not only to minimize current stress, but also to prevent cognitive decline long-term, which is a great health goal. Today's questions, we're going to be touching on what is the Higher Health COGNOSCOPY, what is the impact of chronic stress on your body and brain, and what are the necessary lifestyle factors, micronutrient measures, hormone balancing strategies, and also I'll add mindset for optimal brain health. So Higher Health COGNOSCOPY. You've probably heard of a colonoscopy. So this is recommended at 50 years of age, unless you have a family history or any specific symptoms. You might get it before 50, but it really is recommended at minimum at 50 years of age. So a cognoscopy is all geared around brain health, and this should be at minimum 45 years of age, but everybody on this call, I think, 20 and above would be a great baseline to have, and then to keep retesting every year. So part of the Higher Health COGNOSCOPY would be blood work, and so we're absolutely going to look at pregnenolone and hormones, so estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, there's other hormones to check in there, cortisol. Blood work, hormones aren't the be-all, end-all. There's other ways we look at hormones, but it's noteworthy here in the blood work portion. CRP, which is a measure of inflammation, and we absolutely want to keep inflammation low for overall health and especially for brain health. B12, folate, homocysteine, ferritin, so these are micronutrients, vitamin D, and then backtracking, definitely TSH, thyroid. There's other thyroid markers we can look at. Hemoglobin A1C, random glucose, cholesterol, and lipids. Kidney function markers, and I also like to throw in mercury here. So a lot of people don't know or don't think to ask their medical doctor to test mercury. It's something I always ask my doctor. I actually showed high one time, which I think I had eaten at a teppanyaki table. So there was probably not the best quality of fish, and I was exposed to quite a bit of mercury. So that's a good one to test on routine blood work, and I can also requisition that easily. I think it's $30. Other advanced assessments to consider for your cognoscopy would be hormone and neurotransmitter testing. So I'm a big fan of the Dutch. That stands for Dried Urine Test for Comprehensive Hormones. There's also a Canadian Canadian equivalent called the Qi, and I really love that one. So it stands for Comprehensive Hormone Insight, but currently they're moving their offices, so we don't have access to that until they are settled, and that will be back in October. It's a little bit less expensive because it's Canadian based. And then the organic acid test is also one of my favorites. And so those I would love to speak with everyone about. I think they're just really good tests for hormone and neurotransmitter. Then for gut health, this is also very important. I love speaking about GI map and gut microbiome testing. And then I've also listed heavy metal, really fascinating to see heavy metal results. So you get mercury on blood work as a pre-screen, but there's more advanced testing you can do with advanced heavy metal testing. Genetic testing is also important, so we're looking at methylation specifically and the ApoE4 gene. And then there's also cognitive questionnaires online, which I hope to include links in our follow-up notes, so about the mini cog test and the MOCA test. And actually, a lot of this information can be found in a book called The End of Alzheimer's, which I highly recommend for everyone to read. One of my favorite parts of this book was how Dr. Dale Bredesen, who wrote the book, touched on Alzheimer's is not one condition the way it's treated conventionally. It's actually many, and he broke it down to 3 main root causes, one being inflammation, one being toxicity, and one being micronutrient deficiency. And I loved that because, so let me repeat, inflammation, toxicity, which causes inflammation too, and micronutrient deficiency. So those 3 things. And I loved that because those are actually the root causes to all diseases, I feel, or many. So it's something that we treat naturopathically in all of our visits and all of our treatment plans. What is the impact of chronic stress on your body and brain? Well, definitely causes inflammation. Then we use cortisol to put out inflammation, and then we can run low in our cortisol. Hormone production is very important, and so through stress, we over-secrete our hormones, so then we can become deficient and we can be low, or we don't have enough reserves. Neurotransmitters can also go low through chronic stress. And nutrient status, we use our nutrients to function, and so if we're over-functioning and then we're depleting our tank, then we're running out of nutrient stores and we're running out of hormone and neurotransmitters. So that speaks to one of my focus areas right now is mitochondrial function, because at the base of us as humans, we are trillions of cells, and every cell in our body uses micronutrients, basic ones, vitamin C, magnesium, your B vitamins, amino acids, omega fatty acids. And so if you don't have those core nutrients at an optimal level, your cells just aren't working as well as they could, and so your whole body's not functioning as well as it could, and we'll all show breakdown in different areas. So no 2 people will manifest mitochondrial deficiency in the same way. I love this chapter in the book by Dr. Dale Bredesen, so End of Alzheimer's, definitely write that down. If you want to give yourself Alzheimer's, definitely welcome in chronic inflammation. A leaky gut, so eat food triggers like gluten and grains and excess sugar, dairy, and processed foods. Avoid vegetables, and if you do eat vegetables, ensure they're highly pesticide ridden, so you're getting that toxic effect. Avoid fiber, because fiber is really important for detoxification, and you really want to avoid detox. For regular nutrition, consider eating cheeseburgers and pop and french fries and ice cream, and ensure high-dose statins to decrease healthy fats as well in your body and brain. Avoid nutrient-rich foods or eat nutrient-void foods. Do not address hormone deficiencies. Make sure to not get enough sleep. And if you have sleep apnea, that's great. Allow mold to develop in your home and breathe it in liberally. I remember my dad cleaning out my freezer at a fridge that had stayed locked shut, and it was very moldy, and my dad cleaned it without a mask on. I didn't think to tell him to do that, to wear a mask, but he got very sick a day after that. And ignore cardiovascular-based parameters like lipids, your cholesterols, your blood sugars. So I think you get the point on how to give yourself Alzheimer's, so what you want to do to avoid. And when you look at the opposite, you can see, oh yeah, that's why I want to do the opposite. So eat well, eat fiber, avoid trigger foods for the majority, etc., etc. So higher brain health, I like to break it down into removal and resilience. So removal would be remove and avoid molds, metals, environmental exposures. Sorry, I have metals twice. Dietary triggers, so sugars, processed foods, gluten, and we can have a little bit of gluten, some people not, but also excess grains and a nutrient deficient diet. Support your detox pathways so that you can remove the effects of these exposures, because sometimes we can't hide from them. So we want to support your liver, kidney, lungs, skin, and cellular health. And certain nutrients that I always think of when it comes to removal or to support detox pathways, very simply, magnesium would be my #1. Also B vitamins, so those are 2 very simple. Then also curcumin, so turmeric, milk thistle, N-acetylcysteine, glutathione, rosemary, there's many more. So we really personalize your plan. And then in terms of resilience, optimize nutrition. So not only the foods you eat, but also the nutrients you bring into your body. You know that I'm a big fan of IV vitamin therapy, and Janice will speak to non-food, which is also equally important to your resilience. So again, I've listed mitochondrial health comes down to your micronutrient profile. Then we want to look at hormone, neurotransmitter, and adrenal balance. And again, personalized nutrition, supportive supplementation, IV vitamin therapy, and lifestyle medicine and therapeutic discussion. So that's all what we do as health practitioners. So what can you do right away? This is just rounding up my portion before we move on to the movement break with Deanna. Number one is exercise. That's the first thing you can do to support brain health. So exercise actually stimulates what's called BDNF. So it's a brain-derived neurotropic factor. There's a research study here that's really interesting to read. But basically, exercise increases that factor, which increases dopamine and serotonin, as well as balances out GABA and acetylcholine. So these are really important brain-based neurotransmitters. And a question for you: if you are taking an antidepressant and you are not exercising, that would be something to consider, that you want to do everything possible to support your health. So it's fine to take a medication, but also ensure you are doing all the necessary things to support your health. So that's what I'm meaning by that question. And have you filled out our neurotransmitter hormone questionnaire? If not, let us know. We can send that to you. And you'll be learning a Qi Gong exercise from Deanna today. So really, that's an easy thing that you can do daily, and you'll receive the recording as well for that. Number two, nutrition and micronutrients. So eat right for your brain. We talk a fair bit about a ketogenic diet and paleo nutrition, so this is worth a bigger discussion and definitely individualized. You want to get the healthy fats in your daily nutrition. So the brain is mostly composed of fats, so include omega-3, essential fatty acids, purified supplements, and then you want to get that from purified supplements, and then you can also get omega-6 and 9 oils from nuts and seeds. Olive oil is omega-9, and egg yolks. And there's more there. So standard North American diet equals brain inflammation. So we want to move away from that standard North American diet. We want to avoid sugars, which contribute to depression, ADD, Alzheimer's, and everything negative when it comes to brain health. Avoid artificial sweeteners, avoid gluten when you can, or minimize your grains, and eat a rainbow of vegetables and fruits. I loved this rule. So this is another key take home. Aim for 21 types of vegetables per week. So when you break that down, it doesn't have to be different vegetables, but that really is just have 3 servings of vegetables every day. Okay, so we've covered everything pretty much there. Then third would be detoxification. So what you can do today to support your brain health would be exercise, nutrition, and support your detox. And so, you know, when we have an individual detox plan, we are going to choose whether we focus in on liver, kidneys, lungs, skin, or cellular, and it might be a combination of all. You definitely want to replenish micronutrients so that your cells are working their best so they can detoxify. I'm a big fan of glutathione. Some of my clients call it the glue. And easy, ensure you're getting enough fiber, maybe even just adding a tablespoon of ground flax in water and drinking that in the morning will help. Ensure you're getting enough hydration. Try dry skin brushing and try to do it daily for 1 week and see how you feel. And hot, cold showers, that is one of my favorites, or cold plunging. And so really, really good for your brain health. Okay, so moving on to our movement component. Oh, sorry, yeah, go ahead, Janice.
Yeah, just about, would this cognoscopy be the same for everybody? And
no, that's a great question.
And does it differ in price?
Yes, exactly. So really, my next slide was, we want to get focused in on your brain health, so really personalize it to you. So ask us about the cognitive consult after, but no, there's all different levels. It really requires a discussion to know what is most important for you. And obviously with certain advanced testing, there are some costs associated. So what is necessary and what is not, and what is ideal for you. So yeah, that's a great question. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, so let's get our body moving. I'm going to pass the conch over to Deanna Miconi. And so I love medical Qigong, or Qigong, we can just call it. And Deanna, can you give us just a little bit of an intro for how Qigong helps brain health?
Yes. So Qi Gong is a method used to balance our organs, well, especially medical Qi Gong, to balance our organs in our body through energy and through movement. So movement of energy. So all of our organs contain different elements, different emotions. They're prone to feeling certain emotions, prone to feeling triggered by others. And in Qigong, we can really try to balance and kind of clean up the organs, purging what we don't need, bringing in more of what we want, to help our systems feel better overall, and to help bring balance back into our bodies. And now with the brain specifically, the brain is the top of our Tai Chi pole. So if you look at your body as this sort of like this tall column, right? So if we think of almost kind of like the chakras, the brain is the highest point, so the upper dantian, and that's our spiritual gate. And when the brain is cluttered, or when the body's feeling stress, or cortisol levels are really high, then we start to feel that sort of clutter up in the brain, and the neurotransmitters start to send sort of like those flashing lights, and we feel kind of stuck maybe, or we find maybe our memory isn't as good, maybe we're not as clear in thinking, our decisions start to become a little bit foggy. And the brain connects directly to our spines, as we know. So when those neurotransmitters are sent from our spine up to our brain through any sort of stress, then we start to the whole body starts to kind of lose its balance, right? So we're really looking at in Qigong, movement and meditation, so together. So we're trying to help promote really healthy spines to help our brain function as well. So what I'm going to get you guys to do today is we're going to try to open up those areas, so those dantians. So the first one is our upper dantian, which is the spiritual gate. The second one is our middle dantian, and that's where our thoughts and emotions are held. So a lot of times we think thoughts as the brain, but really the brain is the container for our spiritual gate. So the thoughts and emotions are in our middle dantian, sort of where if you ever feel any tension, like stress, and like you feel tight through the chest or tight through the neck, that would be sort of where your thoughts and emotions are lying. And then the lower dantian is our physical energy center, and that's our Jing, and that's where our center is connected to our movement, to any sort of pain in our bodies, low energy, things like that. So we really want to kind of find a flow between all three of these to allow our bodies to feel really balanced and whole. So let's all start standing. And if you've done Qigong with me before, you know we like to start with a general purge, just to sort of clean our bodies out, kind of purge any negative toxic emotions or thoughts out of our bodies. And this is a really good way just to feel a good reset. You can do this at the beginning of the day or towards the end. You guys can see me here. Sorry. Okay, so let's all start standing. And we're just going to start with what's called a trembling horse. Okay, so our arms are going to be by our sides. Okay, and just soften your body. Just let your feet sink into the earth. Breathing. Try not to control your breathing here. Just allow your breath to be natural. And then we're just going to start to shake off any tension through our bodies, okay? So we're going to start to flutter the arms. We're going to shake, shake, shake really, really hard. We're going to lift and then just drop it down. So we're rising up on your tiptoes and just drop it down. And then pause. We'll do that again. Breathing in. Breathing out. And then pause. Again, breathing in, just really stimulating all the bones and muscles, organs in our bodies. Pause. So we can do up to 10 of these. Shake, 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 shake the shoulders, hips. And just feeling in between each repetition. So you might feel a sort of tingling sensation. Drop all the way down into your heels. One more. And let it go. Good. Reach your arms wide to the sides. Clearing the mind, we're gonna exhale, twist, turn your palm facing up and imagine all those thoughts shooting out through your fingertips. Then you're gonna breathe in, bring yourself through center, and swing. And so we really lift up and twist. Lift up and twist. Good. Now just imagine those thoughts or emotions just shooting out through your fingertips, specifically through your middle finger out to an ocean really far away where that thought's released. Just swing, let your body be nice and smooth. Exhaling out and twist. So typically we keep a really soft breath in Qi Gong. In through the nose and out through the nose. But in any of these purging exercises, we really want to let it go as we need. So I find a quick breath out through the mouth really helps. So breathing out, swinging, softening your mind. Good. Let's do one more each way. And then settle, lower your arms down. Good. Just notice if you feel any different before that exercise. You soften your eyes, looking down towards the floor in front of you. And then just feeling the crown of your head lengthen up towards the sky. Also welcome to close your eyes at any time. You soften your forehead, soften your eyebrows. Soften the entire front of your body. Relax. Let there be a little bit of space between your arms and your torso. Relax your shoulders, relax your elbows, your wrists and fingertips. Your hips, your knees, your ankles, and your toes. So when we come to a place of stillness and quiet, we can really start to see and feel what's going on in our bodies, right? Our bodies send us information all the time. So let's just sink into what we're feeling here. Softening your breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Now just feeling the crown of your head pull up towards the sky. So not quite the very top of your head, but just behind that nice little soft spot. Imagine that portion really pulling up towards yang energy, so towards the universal energy, up in the sky. And at the very same time, we're gonna allow the tailbone to slightly tuck underneath without clenching the glutes. So just soften your glutes, tailbone slides under, grounding into the earth, rooting and connecting to the yin energy of your earth. So feminine energy, cooling energy. We really want to balance both of those. So the yang coming in, the yin drawing up through our bodies, through the earth. Now from here, we're going to take our fingertips. You can stay facing me. We're going to take our fingertips to our foreheads. So we're in this position. Our fingertips are to our foreheads just like this. I'm going to come closer. And we're just going to open up the forehead. So open up the upper dantian. And then you're going to close it back. So imagine there's two little gates. We're opening up. And then as we close, we're not closing it back up. We're just protecting that space. And we're going to let out a little more. So as we open, we let out any thoughts. And then pause. Let's do that 2 more times. Opening up, letting out any thoughts, welcoming them out of our minds. And one more, just clearing, creating some space in that upper dantian. And then draw your hands a little lower to your heart center, to your middle dantian, opening up the gates. And pause. And letting out any of those thoughts and emotions stored in your heart. God, really gently offering them some space, letting them go, or maybe just working with them, opening out 2 more times. Beautiful. Now bring your hands down to your lower dantian. And you can just feel, if you can feel anything in front of your lower belly without touching your low belly or keeping your hands about 1 foot away, and fingertips never touch one another as well. Okay. Now we're going to open up physical center. Any pain, any discomfort in the body, just let it out, let it go. And you can think of a really clear or white light surrounding your lower abdomen. Good. 2 more. Beautiful, and close. Good, sweep your arms wide to the sides. Draw your arms all the way up overhead. You're just going to settle the energy there, palms face each other, and you melt all the way down. And release. Very nice. Okay, let's wake up our brains now that we've kind of cleared our tai chi pole. We're nice and long through our spines and connected through our mind, our spirit, and our physical body. We're going to now take our fingertips and we're going to wake up the brain. We're going to tap our fingertips so sort of around the upper forehead, sort of like playing the piano. So we're going to tap the brain. So if you think of 2 little ridges here above the eyebrows, we're tapping right above there. Tap, tap, tap. You can close your eyes. Really helping with brain optimization to help us clear and make space for our memory and for our thoughts. Good. And then hold. Just pause, and we're just going to hold still on the frontal eminences, the frontal points of the forehead. Just pause there, close your eyes, sinking your fingertips deep into those points. And this one really helps to train the nervous system to keep the blood there in the forebrain to help you with your memory. Just breathing into your hands, breathing into the points beneath your fingertips. And then from here, we can just draw the fingers wide and draw them down through the back. Draw them back behind the ears and down to your neck and release. Perfect. So staying standing, we're going to comb the scalp now. So this is really nice when you can draw your fingers through your hair. You're just going to comb your scalp and draw your hands down the back of your neck. So we're going to keep doing that. Draw up and back and release. Really helping to calm down the nervous system. We have so many little nerve endings right through the scalp. So we're just going to draw the fingers through your scalp and just release through the back of your neck. Good, combing your hair. Let's do 2 more. And 1. All the way back and release. Good. Staying standing, so just notice how you're feeling. If your eyes are closed, you can just open them and look down towards the floor in front of you. Standing a little taller. Start to move our spines a little bit more. As we spoke about, our spines are directly connected to our brains. So let's get our spines moving in a spiral direction, okay? So we're going to twist and rotate. Similar to the beginning, this time we're bringing the arms across, and you can have this little tap across the body. You can swing your arms as wide as you'd like. Exhale. Good, yeah, just try to get all the parts of your spine, the sides of your spine, the middle of the spine, all sort of waking up, letting the vertebrae find the spiraling movement, like a corkscrew. We want to keep our spines really fluid, right? Think really limber, almost like elastic. And then pause in the middle. So reach your arms wide. We're going to round our spine through flexion. Turn your fingertips to face the ground. Round your back over, reaching for the floor in front of you. Now from here, we're going to keep our palms facing up, so facing your nose. Fingertips are apart, and then roll back up. And release. Good. Again, breathing in. Rise and lift. Breathing out. Scooping your waist up and in, and then we're rounding over our backs. Now while we're here, just pause, sink into your feet, soften your knees, and imagine a warm sun shining off all your vertebrae through your spine. Think of a really bright yellow light filling up your spine. And as if you're picking up a big heavy rock, roll with control, slowly soften the arms. Release. Do that 2 more times. Turn your fingertips up this time. Breathing in, gather. Exhale, round. Breathe in, pause. Warm sun through the spine, and exhale, roll back up. 1, breathing in. Gather, exhale, scooping, rounding. Big breath. Pick up the heavy rock. And release. Good, and to close, keep your fingertips facing the mat. We're going to reach wide. Softening the front sides of our bodies. Exhale. Let's pause with our left palm underneath our right at our lower dantian, sealing our practice there. Again, reaching wide. Exhale, softening the back of your body, back of your spine. Left palm under right. And 1 more, breathing in. Pause with your fingertips up overhead. Imagine a really white light filling up the mind, filling up the throat, filling up all the organs in your body. Pressing them down. And left palm under right. Close your eyes for a second. Just feeling your feet root down into the earth. Like you've stepped into heavy mud. And then allow the crown of your head to lengthen up towards the sky. Warm sun is shining down through the top of your head, through the crown. Good. Filling up your body with really healing golden light. Feeling the space below your navel, below your left palm. Really calm. Good. And then just bring your awareness back to your foreface, back to the point between your eyebrows. And just feeling that lightness, openness, and groundedness. Reach your arms wide to the sides. And this time, exhale, just draw your palms down through center. And release. You can shake off your fingertips, shake off your feet. And that's all. Great work, everyone.
Thank you so much, Deanna. That was awesome.
Good, I'm glad.
Imagine if you were to do that 10-minute movement routine every day, how good you would feel and how it would change your day. So yeah, it was really cool to do that focused to brain health. Thanks, Deanna.
Thank you.
Okay, so now let's go into mindset. Mindset is the foundation for higher health and higher brain health. So Janice, excited to hear what you have to say today.
I'm really excited to speak with everybody, and thank you so much, both Tara and Deanna, for those tips and tools that really come in handy. And I'm going to speak about mindset, and it's probably the biggest thing that people come to see me for, because they're not liking the thoughts that are constantly racing through their minds. And oftentimes it becomes, thoughts become, really toxic and inflammatory. And you mentioned that earlier, Tara, about toxicity and inflammation. Well, where are our thoughts causing, what inflammatory thoughts are we having through our minds every day, right? And we don't really think about that because we don't really see it, right? But we're feeling it all the time. And about 12 years ago, when I decided to go back to school, I was nervous. I hadn't been in school for some years, and, am I going to like it? Am I going to, is it going to be boring? Am I going to be, inspired? Well, what I didn't know was first class, I walked in and I had this incredible teacher, and this was at nutrition school. And he walked in and he threw his books on the desk with a bang. And he said something that I will never forget. And I have taken it with me, throughout my whole journey. And he said to us, it's not the germ, it's the terrain. And he was implying, he was taking this, talking about nutrition, right? Basically, it's not the germs out there. It's not the things that are going to come at you. It's actually what you are, what is your terrain like? What is your body? How is it going to handle things, right? And because we all know that there's endless viruses, bacteria out there living all the time, but it's the actual terrain that we can be in charge of, right? Because life presents us all the time with circumstances that are not ideal, and they're painful, and they can, they're traumatic. We all have trauma. But what we can be in charge of is how we are going to respond. And I really, instead of reacting, right? A lot of us have heard that before, but, I started to think about it, and I thought, wow, it really is about, our inflammatory thoughts and our viral thoughts and, our germy thoughts that really get us into trouble. And I had an experience, I just flew back from Vancouver, and many of you know that I haven't been the best flyer, but I've made some serious progress. And, it used to be that I would have to take an anti-anxiety and even have a drink on the plane. And when I would land, I would feel horrific, just absolutely horrific, because I'm not really a drinker, but I had to do that. I thought I had to do that in order to get through the turbulence and all of that. And, I've graduated. I no longer do that. But, on the plane ride home, it got to be like a bit of a rodeo on descent into Toronto. So it was quite bumpy through the clouds and whatnot. And I was aware I started to get nervous. I started to feel it in my body, and I started to think these thoughts, oh my God, are they in control up there? Everything that goes on. And, it's a great microcosm for the bigger thing. It's the turbulence of life that is going to come at us. That's a given. That's a for sure thing, right? We don't go through this life unscathed, but we do have a choice whether we want to respond in a healthy way, right? And where are our thoughts leading us? So, as I was going through the clouds on descent in Toronto, I was getting nervous. I was getting tense. Deanna, I could feel it in my chest, right? I knew it. And, but I was able to question. I was able to question my thoughts at that time, right? It's like, okay, I recognize that, it's bumpy out there, but right now I'm safe. right now, this big plane is supporting me, right? In this moment, I am safe. And to me, it's not that I didn't get nervous. It was there. I welcomed it. I recognized it, but I didn't try and shove it down. And that's the difference. And that's where we can be in charge. It may not feel like it sometimes, and it's not about perfection. It still means I'd love to get to the place where I can be on an airplane and be completely at calm and peace. And I have had flights like that, but I also recognize that I still have a little bit more work to do, right? Our mind is a very familiar place to be, right? And, repetitive thoughts become beliefs, right? About ourselves and about others. And then that ends up driving behaviors which don't serve us, right? I mean, how many times do we think unpleasant thoughts and then towards somebody else or spouse or kids or whatever, and then we act differently around them, right? It just doesn't serve us. So, what we really want, I think, as all human beings, is we want freedom from those thoughts, right? We just want freedom. We don't want to believe these untruths about ourselves. So we have two choices, right? We can believe the thoughts that we're having, or we can question them. And there really is no magic bullet, right? Everything that Tara has been saying, and Deanna, there's things that you can do. I mean, many of us, I bet you, on the call, we meditate and we do things to prime ourselves so that we can handle what is going to happen and what is going to come at us during the day, right? And I think that's why it's so important to have some kind of practice. And it's going to be different for everybody. I can sit here and tout meditation and it is great, right? But it might not work for other people. Qigong, yoga, walking, being in the forest, any of that. And I think doing something in the morning is so great because it is priming your day, right? For what is going to happen. We're oftentimes worrying about a future that does not exist, right? It just doesn't exist. Where have we ever been in our future? When? Right? We're actually always present. And I know presence is a catchword, right? Be present, right? Well, sometimes it's hard. How do we do that? Right? And there's all sorts of techniques. There's something called zooming out, which is extremely easy and efficient to do. And all that requires is looking through your peripheral vision. So we can do that now is don't focus on anything in particular. Just put your attention on your peripheral vision. And you'll sense the surroundings of the room. And I don't know about you, but it's pretty hard to have thoughts when you're in that kind of zone. So when you find your thoughts are racing and you can't stop, take a moment and zoom out. And that's a very quick, efficient way to get present. So, what I was going to say, basically, we have another couple of choices, right? We are either putting our attention into our surroundings and senses, or we're focusing on our thoughts, right? It's really that simple. So oftentimes we don't want, when we have feelings and thoughts that are unpleasant and uncomfortable, we want them to go away, right? We don't want to feel the feelings that are coming up and the sensations in the body. That's really what sort of gets us away from really being present. So really the only limitations we have are those that are in our mind. And it really is true. And it doesn't mean that unpleasantries or uncomfortableness is going to happen. It will. But we can choose to be in a better place in order to receive those things. Okay. And the other big quote that this teacher said to us, if you don't look after your body, where are you going to live? And I thought, sometimes it's just those two, that one line, it really causes you to think, well, yeah, that's so true, and it goes true with the mind, right? If I don't look after my mind, my brain health, my thoughts, what I'm choosing to believe, right? And it's driving these behaviors that really, they're not really in my best interest. It's not that they're bad or they're wrong. They're just not optimal. Does that make sense to everybody? And so there's a little acronym that it's called fear. I actually I could have had a little PowerPoint, but I didn't. But so the F stands for feel it in your body. Feel whatever's there. Is there a tightness in the chest? Just like Deanna said, are there butterflies in your tummy, right? Is your throat constricted? So allow yourself to feel it. And the second one, E, is embrace the feeling. Allow it. Allow it to come in, because if you don't allow it to come in, it never can leave, right? And so allow was the third one. And R is remember. Remember that there are millions of people going through and having similar thoughts at the same time, right? So if you know that you're not alone, that's so big, right? It's you don't feel so isolated, and then that there is something wrong with you, because there isn't. It's the human condition. Our brain is so wired to look out for threat all the time, and especially during this crazy time, right? A lot of us are just on high alert, right? And there's more thoughts. And what are we choosing to take in, right? How much news are we watching, right? These all have effects on the thoughts that will then drive beliefs and then behaviors, right? So really there isn't, like I said in the beginning, there isn't a silver bullet. All it takes is practice. So for me, sitting on the airplane, getting tense, getting scared, right? I allowed that all to come, but I was able to question them. And that took many of air miles to practice that, right? And I really am very pleased with myself that, I was able to not use medication to get on an airplane. And to me, that's progress. It doesn't mean that the thoughts don't creep up every once in a while. That's okay, right? It's not about being perfect. It's really about being present. And there's one other way that I'd like to share with you to get to presence. And many of you maybe have been on other calls before, and I've mentioned this, but there's the zooming out, and there's also the putting your attention. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to put your attention on the back of your brain. Softening the back. Focus your attention on the back part of your brain. And I don't know about you, but when I do that, it takes any of the thoughts away from the front part of your brain, your thinking brain. Because what really is beneficial is to focus on your senses, right? On your senses and your surroundings. There's a difference. And it doesn't mean that we don't need our cognitive brain for things. Of course we do. But as much as we can get into our bodies and into our senses, that's where we can develop some peace and harmony. Yeah. I don't know how are we doing for time, guys?
Yeah, we're great. That was amazing. I love that exercise of focusing on the back of the brain.
Yeah, and it's a very easy way to get there. Like if we can just, it's about just taking a pause, just a quick pause. And when your brain is racing, right? Just, you can go there, you can go back, or you can zoom outside.
Yeah, two great exercises.
Yeah.
Along with the Qi Gong, amazing. Well, this has been a brain-powered session. So great. And I'm will definitely be sharing the recording, as I said. So please share this out to anyone any sisters, fellow sisters who you think can benefit from this. And our next sisterhood, so we will be offering these the first week of every month. We're not sure yet whether it will be Wednesday, it is this week, or in the past it was always on a Monday. So we will think about that, but also share with us what works best for you. And our next topic is going to be focused all around immune health. Great topic, important topic. And so watch for our mailer to sign up for that. And yeah, if you have any questions for either of us, please message and you can respond to the mailer that goes out with the recap notes. If you'd like a personal conversation with Janice, please ask for that. And if you would like more from Deanna, and you know, I was thinking, Deanna, we should have a regular Qigong Zoom session to come on in, and like it's so important to practice that movement for overall health. So and then also consider the brain fuel cognitive consult, also very important. So we're here for you. Yep, go ahead, Janice.
I just wanted to add to that. I just actually listened to on the plane. Dale Bredesen had a podcast, and he has a new book. So The End of Alzheimer's is excellent for sure, and I cannot remember what his new book is called, but it's on the same lines. But he has an updated book.
Great, I will look at that too, and so we'll include that. I lent out my copy, and I know who has it, but she'll enjoy it, and time to get a new one, and I'll also get his new one. So thank you everyone for joining. Have a great day. We are Sisters in Health. Share the love, and that's all for today. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.